And that's the thing. Miami is probably the best team in the league, and Erik Spoelstra is probably the best coach in the league at confusing you, at throwing so much stuff at you that you can't diagnose it correctly, at just junking the game up in a way that people just can't read the game.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is the best at processing all of that
Yeah.
in the entire league right now. And his ability to handle that, and Jamal Murray's ability to limit turnovers and throw as many assists as he had on top of the scoring that he's done. Those two guys are just playing the game at such a crisp level that there's no matter what you try, they can find the answer. And that's the most impressive part to me is like this Miami team is so tough to stay solid against, and they've been able to do it.
Well, but here's the thing about that, Jay, is I think they've done a good job of disrupting Denver's offense with all those different looks. But when you can't capitalize by scoring on the other end of the floor, then it becomes just like eventually Denver's going to score and figure this out. And instead of putting pressure on them to, get a stop with the zone looks, get a stop, and then go back the other way and hit a three or score at the rim or whatever, because they can't answer with that, it buys Denver time to figure it out to where then like maybe you get 2-3 stops in a row, but you haven't scored on any of those stops. And so now Denver scores on the next 2 or 3 possessions. And now it looks like, oh, well, you fucked up. You didn't get this right. But you did for a little bit. It's just Trey, if you can't put the pressure on the other team. And I think a big part of that is just Jimmy and Bam are not scoring at the rim. Like these are two crazy athletic, strong dudes who are not scoring at the rim. And I think that has ended up being the biggest pain for them offensively because it puts zero pressure on their interior defense.
Also, I just think the Heat have just ran into the most prepared team they've seen all year.
Yeah.
If you look at the numbers, Jimmy was having an exceptional first 3 rounds of the playoffs, and then his numbers are down. Whether he's exhausted, whether, they're throwing bodies at him, it's not the same. And clearly you can see that the Nuggets are capitalizing off of it. You know what I mean? Like, This is a make or miss league for even the Heat to even be in a game. They have to make their 3-pointers. And even still, you look down and Jimmy's kind of spotty in certain places where he may have 16, he may have 12. Even him and Bam scoring 20 is just not going to get it done against this exceptional team. Like, just overall, this is Denver's year. And respect to Michael Malone and his staff and the front office and everybody, even with Michael Porter Jr. struggling the way he is, Christian Braun is like stepping in, like just uncharacteristic guy. Reggie Jackson getting a couple minutes, like anybody. And shout out to those guys
that was the biggest upset of that was the biggest upset of the final so far. Like once you survive the Reggie Jackson minutes, you don't deserve, or the other team does not deserve to win the title. I don't care how many minutes it was.
Just forfeit it. Forfeit it. It's done. Just
you can't counter. You can't counter with like, well, we got Zeller out there. You can't like
who would have known? Who would have known that Reggie Jackson was going to get a ring before Chris Paul, bro?